Hey guys, welcome back for another What's for Dinner. In today's video, I am sharing 2 crock pot meals and 2 15-minute meals. All 4 of these recipes are super easy and beginner friendly, so let's just go ahead and get started. The first recipe is one of my absolute favorites. I'm just adding potatoes to the bottom of the crock pot, and then I browned some hamburger earlier in the day, so I'm just adding that. And then I'm going to add a can of green beans. The Italian cut was all they had in my Walmart, but a green bean is a green bean, right? So then I'm just gonna add a can of diced tomatoes. You can use, whatever kind that you want. We just like using the regular ones. And then a bag of frozen corn, and then I'm gonna add a bag of the California blend vegetables. It just has broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots in it. Normally I will do this all separately, but I saw this and thought it would be even easier, so I wanted to add that. And then normally I will get just regular tomato juice, but with everything going on with the coronavirus and stuff, I was unable to find just regular tomato juice, so I had to get this. And I'm just adding 3 cans of this. Normally I would do about 2 cups of tomato juice, but this is just gonna have to work. And then I will add about a cup of beef broth. I have this little broth base, and I'll just do about 3 tablespoons of this, and that is it. I actually put this together in the crock pot the night before, and then before I left for work the next day, I just put it in the crock pot. I cooked it on low. It was in there for probably about 9 hours, and it was perfect. So here is what it looks like whenever it is done. This was so good. I highly recommend. We just served it with some Hawaiian sweet rolls, and we had this for dinner the next day as well. It is super good as leftovers too. Okay, this next meal is just meatballs and gravy. It sounds so simple, and it really is, but it was so good. I just added about a half a bag of already cooked meatballs to the bottom of a crock pot, and then I added some beef broth to the bottom, and I cooked that on low for about 3 hours. If you guys cook with beef and chicken broth a lot like I do, I would highly recommend investing in this broth-based seasoning. This big ol' thing was only $3 at Walmart, and they have beef and chicken flavor, and it has saved me so much money because I use chicken and beef broth all the time. So now that the meatballs are done after the 3 hours, I'm just going to take them out and add 2 packets of brown gravy, and then I'll add the meatballs back in, and then I let it simmer together for about an hour, and then it was good to go. To go along with the meatballs, I just wanted to make some mashed potatoes and gravy. So I'm just peeling some mashed potatoes, and then I'm going to cook some green beans on the stove, and then we are good to go. I just recently started using this potato peeler to peel my potatoes. I used to just use a knife, but it always made me so nervous, so I stopped using knives. Let me know if you guys use knives or if you use a potato peeler. Once again, I'm using this broth base to put in my green beans. If you guys haven't tried this, it gives the green beans a really good flavor, and then you don't have to use any salt or butter. I would highly recommend trying this. This next meal is my twist on cheesy tuna pasta. You can buy the tuna helper in the boxes, but it never really makes enough. And whenever I cook, I always make enough to have leftovers for lunch the next day. So I am just adding some tuna to the bottom of a pan. I'm just gonna break it apart with my hamburger, whatever that thing is called. I love it. And then I'm going to make it with these Knorr sides. I'll show you in just a second, but this was so good, and my husband really loves this. His favorite thing is the tuna helper in the box, but ever since I've been making it like this, he loves it. Now I am just making some stuffing. This is kind of a weird side, but it sounded good, and stuffing is so cheap. So I'm just making it according to the box. And then I'm just gonna follow the directions on the back of the pasta sides and wait for the green beans to get done. I also made some crescent rolls on this side, and here's what my plate looked like. This was so good and so fast. This last recipe is my take on goulash. This is really not a traditional recipe, but we really like it this way. So I'm just adding some hamburger, and then I had this seasoning blend with onions, peppers, and parsley, and then I added just some frozen mushrooms and some minced garlic, and I'm just gonna fry my hamburger all together. Also, I learned this little trick from my grandma, but if you add just a little bit of water in the bottom of your pan while you're cooking the hamburger, it makes it so much easier to mince up. I do not like big chunks of hamburger, so I always do this, and it makes it tolerable to eat for me because I'm not a big fan of meat. Now I'm just going to drain off all the grease in the water. I never drain my grease into the sink. That's just so bad for your plumbing. So I'm just going to drain it into this little bowl, and then I'm adding this mushroom pasta sauce. I found this at Walmart. We've never had it before, and it was actually really good. I'm just going to put the lid on this and let all the flavors melt together while the pasta finishes cooking. A little trick to save you money. I always just buy regular Texas toast garlic bread, and then I add my own cheese. Whenever it's almost done, I'll put it back in the oven for a couple minutes to melt it. But this saves me like $1 every time I buy garlic bread, so I think it's a really good tip. So now I'm just gonna drain off all the water on my pasta, and then I'm gonna add everything together, and we just serve this with some garlic bread, of course, and then I always top mine with Parmesan cheese. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to share it with your friends. If you're new here, please subscribe. Other than that, I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.